G'day and welcome back to the Coffey Break channel. But we're really attempting on taking this trailcraft right here, Tweed Heads to Broome, east coast to west coast. Right now we are partially stuck. We're about 30 hours in being stuck behind this little island, which we were so lucky to get to, so lucky. And we're about up there. Once we get to Lockhart, we're 250 kilometres from the tip of the country, which would be a massive milestone for the trip. We're lucky though, we do have the little motor, but we only have 20 litres and we need to get 40 Ks. So it's going to be really interesting whether we can do that or not. But I talked about in the last episode we were going to go to Lockhart, and there was something really interesting that's going to be happening there. And what we're going to be doing is, we've had this plan for a long time and I'm super excited for this. Ryan Hart is going to be taking this boat out of the water, so it's kind of going to be perfect for us that we get to pull it out of the water again, and we're going to be able to work under the boat and get this issue sorted once and for all. But Ryan is such an interesting character. He's worked for Steve Irwin and the Irwin family when he was younger. He worked with Animal Planet, he's a zoologist, and he's building an eco-lodge just outside of Lockhart River. So we're going to be getting the boat pulled out of the water and going and hanging on his eco-lodge for a whole week, and he's going to take us around the area and just show us all the amazing wildlife, snakes, birds, crocodiles, do some barramundi fishing from land. This part of the trip I've been really excited for and keen to tell you guys about it because I'm frothing to do it. But we got to get there. So if we run out of fuel basically, we have him on call to come out and bring us another 20 litres. And honestly, it's probably 10, 20 litres is all we need to get there, because we can't use our main tank. We can't get fuel out of it, we cannot siphon it out of it. The hose is fully blocked. We're going to try and take it off now, but we can't really get our hand to it, but we're going to give it a crack. Yeah, we've changed the name of the channel to Coffey Breaks Down, and that's just what we're going to be running with now, because we're breaking down everywhere. 6 months in a leaking boat. 6 months in a leaking boat.
It's kind of like, how long will we withhold before surrendering? It's like, you just don't want to give up. We're not going to give up.
Pretty much nothing to do, so we're going to clean the boat. We're going to restack all our lures, scrub the decks down, wipe all the floors down. Dad's going to sharpen his axe that's never been used. wouldn't believe it, there's a guy at the moment on his jet ski travelling from Surfers Paradise, Lorraine I think actually, to the top of the country. And he got in contact with me today because he's coming past. And there he is right there. We didn't think we'd see him.
Really?
That's pretty loose.
Are we saved? Guys, leave it to me.
He could take you to Lockhart. Hook up and jump on. Yeah, bloody oath. You guys are stuck, eh?
Well, we have enough fuel possibly to get to Lockhart.
Yeah.
But if you have a bit of fuel.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I've had 2 people reach out, Ryan and some other
Yeah.
bloke, and they were like, because I'm doing a big trip up the coast.
Yeah, we know, Jason.
Yeah, Jamie,
So
nice to meet you.
what are you? So you're going from Lorraine to top or?
I went from Tweed Heads.
Oh, you left from Tweed as well.
Yeah, I seen you guys leave, and then I was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, what a classic.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice punch up compared to yesterday. It was just
Yesterday would have been shocking.
coming from Cooktown.
That's pretty loose what you're doing.
Yeah, so is this fuck. I don't know what's worse, because this is like...
We were talking about it this morning, and we were saying, I think this is worse.
I reckon.
Physically, that's worse.
Yeah, physically that's harder.
Dangerous, this is worse.
Yeah,
because the big seas are hard.
Yeah. Oh,
The currents, he is much better.
yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty...
About 1770
Yeah.
up to Cooktown.
Yeah. Yeah, it even affected this on fuel big time. Like I wasn't prepared for it, because you can
Neither were we.
script things. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not really familiar with this side of country. So
No.
no idea, right? But, yeah, physically I'm...
But you're almost there.
I know,
You've only got, what, 400k to go?
probably. Yeah, gonna stop
Even
at
less.
Lockhart tonight,
Yeah.
and the boys, Ryan said he was gonna come
Yeah.
rescue tomorrow.
Well, we're trying to get to. Well, if you have fuel now,
Yeah.
we should be right.
Yeah.
But I reckon we could have made it to the bay, and that was about it. Yeah, we're having a blockage in our fuel line out of our main tank, and we can't get fuel out of that either. So it's
What? So you're gonna use the
little motor, so it's
get
going
in
to
there.
take us like 4 or 5 hours to get there tomorrow.
At least you can do it. Eh?
Yeah.
What made you do this?
Something to do. I love
Love it.
That's
I
unreal.
love like
Something to do.
stuff. Yeah.
What's So what's your socials now? Just
Yeah, just my name, just Jamie Vogler.
name a robot.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And you just kind of go around doing random sort of jet ski missions, or was this?
Pretty much. Oh no, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I've been working the last year and haven't really done any fun. I used to do a heap of fun stuff
Yeah.
up at Arnhem Land and whatnot, and then yeah, I was like, I'm overdue for a mission.
Yeah.
And then 6 months ago, I was chatting to Cedar, and they were like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I said, oh surely, what are your thoughts? And they're like, yeah, go on, give it a crack, we'll back you up.
Sick. Oh, that's unreal.
So what jet ski is that one? What
It's an
model?
Explorer Pro.
Yep.
It's a 170 horsepower.
Is that the top of the range?
For this sort of stuff, yeah.
How much range can you get with what you have? All of that.
With all of those Jerry's, 400k.
400k.
Yeah.
That's a solid whack. How fast do you go?
I'm usually sitting on about 60, but it depends. Like yesterday, for instance, I was out there and it was like, I was sitting on 30 for the thing. But
Do you want to jump in?
I'll probably have to get going.
get
eh?
going, yeah.
Only because I've got times on the
Tide.
for when I meet my mate.
Yep.
Yeah, but no way to tell it.
Um,
Yeah. Do you guys punch it in there today or tomorrow?
tomorrow, yeah. We're waiting for the best weather. What time are you leaving tomorrow?
He'll be leaving it. You'll do a big day on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What can we do?
Fill that up first to the brim.
I don't know if he did or not, but anyways, he's getting at it's like, oh, if you get in any trouble, just catch out.
But it's the other way around. The other way around.
Yeah.
Help these guys out, they're going to need it.
Yeah.
I can't believe the coincidence of this. It's crazy. I'll just
I know
get
there's
this.
a support vehicle coming now.
Let's get this going up.
mental.
Thanks, brother.
Alright. See you later.
See you later, brother. Have a good one. Thanks for bringing the buddy too.
Yeah, well, yeah. Easy. Alright, see you later.
See you, mate.
Have a good one.
Crazy.
And we got fuel.
Oh, we got fuel.
How good is that? Yeah, met a guy, Jamie, who was riding a jet ski from Tweed Heads up, up to Cape York. Really interesting story. Used to have a marketing business, social media business, lived in Perth, 25 years of age. Now owns a pub on South Stradbroke Island. But the most interesting fact about him is he had 20 litres of fuel.
What are the odds of that? He left from the same place we left, and we end up linking up on the way. We needed fuel. I'm pretty mind blown by that. Classic example of another character, loose character, taking advantage of Australia, what this country has to offer. One more day here, and we're done.
Thank God for him.
Thank God. Thank you. We'll see you bright and early. 60 kilometers to Lockhart. We've got the fuel. This is it. Last day at this anchorage. Thank God. See you in the morning.
Just creep forward. I'll put the bilge on.
Yeah. So that's the anchor alarm when we're moving, going off. So far we've used one full 10 litres. That's still full. It's got maybe 5 litres in it. And then we've still got Jamie's jerry that he gave us with the full 20. We're 20k from the tip before we go into Lockhart. At the moment, without Jamie's jerry, I think we will only make it to the bay, but we'll see how far we get before we actually have to use his jerry. We've got the wind with us and the current with us, so we're doing about 11 knots. Sorry, 11 k's, 6 knots. The little motor is using a lot more fuel than we thought. So this is the last fill up with the fuel that we have. So we'll get to see how far we're going to make it.
Morning.
Morning, Gonzi.
Morning.
Morning, Gonzi.
It feels like we're going so much faster in there.
We're cutting along. 10 kilometers to go. Yeah. You still full? We couldn't have calculated it any better. We're gonna get there on empty. It's crazy.
Just come towards the boat ramp, and then as you come in, your left.
Yeah.
Just watch it. There's a heap of rocks just there, but you'll be able to sneak through, and we can put you on the beach until the tide comes in a bit.
Sounds good. Up a bit. We're here with Ryan, who I've been talking about earlier in the episode, and we're going to his eco lodge. We're waiting for the tide for a bit, but we've got a pretty exciting week on our hands.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. I'm sure you guys will be stoked for a bit of dry land for a week or so.
I can't wait to be on dry land and have a few beers to savo. Those 4 days. Well, we don't have beers a lot of the time on the trip, but 4 days sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, I think you've earned it, especially sitting here for a couple of hours waiting for this tide.
Yeah.
Draw it out a bit more.
Draw it out a little bit longer.
So mate, bring in the truck, so I can drive the boat.
You should be able to drive this onto the trailer, yeah. It'll just depend how deep we can get it in the water and then what the tide lets us do.
So we've rigged the big motor up to the little tank because we're going to have to drive the boat onto the trailer. Hopefully we got enough tide to get it in now. That'll be unreal. Otherwise we're going to have to wait a couple of hours. Holy. How you going? Good.
Jacko, this is Steve.
How are you?
How you going, mate? Steve's a
Nice to meet you.
helping you out. This is Albie.
How are you?
And Bill.
Thanks heaps for the help, boys.
No worries. No, good.
Yeah, boys.
Nice. My driveway line and go down to it. Yeah. It's not going to land on anything anyway.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, Kevin, get in the back. Go on, Kevin, in the back. Go on, Kevin. Get in the back, big Kev.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just up, there's about 2 k's up there to our place.
Okay.
So it's going to take your boat up onto the top of the hill, but we'll just turn left here and we'll put it on the flat on the grass down here.
Yep. Should all muck around with that now, eh? We'll do it.
Nah, we'll go do it later. Get yourself settled and then we can come back and wash it later. Kevin, get out of the way. You're just going to put it on that cockpit.
Oh.
Hi. This actually tastes good. This is how much I want it right now.
Oh. Cheers, boys.
Pure horsepower, that big rig.
We'll see you around.
We'll catch you next few days.
You guys will be around for a bit, eh?
Yeah, be around for a week.
Thanks, heaps.
Yeah.
The first night out of the humble abode in 2 months. and I'm absolutely ecstatic.
So if it's not like this trailer with it, but...
yeah. Fully have this concreted?
No. It's all this concrete up here costs $1,200 a cube compared to say down where we're from, Sunny Coast, that way $150 a cube.
Yeah, right.
So everything's just got a premium because we've got to freight everything from further south in Cairns, which is, you know, in a truck that's a 16-hour drive in a truck. We get there 10, 12 in a Land Cruiser, but everything has to be hauled up from down south, so there's just a premium on everything, especially heavy things like concrete.
Even this road here, did you have to cut this?
Yeah, we cut that out from the very top. This is our quarry too, so a lot of the rock off that hill goes back down onto the road. So down here, we put some cement culverts in, rocked all this corner to sort of lift it up and keep the water off it a bit.
No way.
See here, you can see the cement culverts go under the ground, a couple of pipes. And this has been the most trouble of all our driveway. The first couple of years, it'd be pretty common to have a few cars stuck down in here.
Yeah, right.
But this last year we put 1,000 tonne of rock down the bottom here.
1,000 tonne?
Yeah, mostly from that cutting in the hill up there. And we built the cement causeways here.
Yeah, right.
Lifted the bottom up a bit, so we've taken a bit of angle out of those two hills there. It must have helped when you got that done.
Yeah, these are huge achievements to just build a road.
Oh, that's it. The road, like we had to get the road in here for about 1.5 years before we could even break ground. So,
Look at it.
this is it. So yeah, a bit of a mess, but we'll get to see what it's. You'll get an idea.
We'll get an idea.
That's what they do. Come here, bud.
It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably best off in this room, Bon.
Yeah?
The most private one, I guess. This is the bathroom. You guys can share these.
Oh, wow.
So
I'll do a little...
these are amazing.
I'll walk through.
These are amazing places. Yeah. Yeah, not too bad. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers.
Wow.
That's really nice.
Bonza. Oh, aircon. There's aircon. There's aircon.
They are recently painted, so feel free to open the windows and do whatever you want.
Sick. Unreal, mate.
And one's the same.
Done such a good job.
Yeah, getting there. To be concreting in the next couple of days.
Yep.
So this, obviously, it's pretty muddy in the rainforest, so trying to put this concrete road in here to get us out of mud.
Yep.
Then we can landscape around it.
Yeah.
And sort of extend that up there. Bring the concrete through here.
Yep.
But we need to get the concrete truck in here so we can put the pool in. We're building like a big outdoor concrete bench out here with a South African braai style fire there.
That'd be wicked.
So yeah, the boys have sort of got it all boxed up, ready to pour. Got a little seat that goes in here. So
there's a chance
how much
we'll
work
see that.
there is in the boxing.
Oh,
yeah. Well, hopefully in the next couple of days we'll be pouring this.
That'd be sick.
And they've framed up the pool for me down there. So the pool comes in 2 pieces, like a big frame that we'll bring up with an excavator and drop it down here.
Oh.
And then
There's going to be a pool here.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll drop the inner frame inside and the boys will pump the concrete in and around. And then hopefully we can pull the frames out without the whole thing falling back in on itself. So
Imagine how much you're going to love that pool.
oh, it's going to be so good. This will be, and this is our commercial kitchen in here where we'll cook for all the guests. It's still sort of under construction at the moment. But
Awesome. And how many people do you plan when it's all up and running?
no more than 10. So
10.
Just exclusive for groups is sort of 10. They get access to the whole property.
Yeah.
We'll guide them. Everything's sort of all inclusive. And
Awesome.
yeah, no other tourists there to annoy them. So private groups mostly. Come over here. This is the best part of the house over here.
Okay.
It's naturally quite
oh.
cool.
Yeah.
It is. It is really cool. This is awesome.
Yeah. You live outside out here, so
yeah.
have a big sort of living space outside.
This is
to go.
really cool.
between here and the pool area, and then that's our prized possession up there. That 8-metre dugout that we found on Chili Beach. Wow, you guys make this?
You found that?
Yeah, we found that.
That is such a great idea, the way you've incorporated that.
Yeah, we had that many ideas. We're going to make a table out of it and put glass over the top, but then I know my idiot mates would walk on the glass or he'd just get underneath it all the time. So, no, that was the idea. It looks good, eh?
That's come up so good.
Yeah. We found it on Chili Beach and like end of the wet season one year. It had just washed up. It had probably only been there a couple of days because stuff like this, when it washes up on the beach, everybody just flocks to it.
So true, yeah.
We were lucky. We were lucky that we saw it first.
Yeah.
Finders keepers sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And it's probably drifted down from New Guinea, been lost out of a river in New Guinea.
New Guinea.
It's not a traditional Aboriginal one from this area.
Yeah.
This is it's a New Guinea build and probably pretty modern as well. It's not overly old. Okay.
You're huffing and puffing all day.
Yeah, okay. What now? Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. I've always wanted my own little bit of rainforest to manage, and I came in here like in the early 2000s, and this little piece of rainforest used to be connected to New Guinea. So 250,000 years ago, when New Guinea sort of broke away from Australia, the whole top of the Cape was rainforest.
Yeah.
But the Mucklereef and the Iron Range that runs around the back here sort of create this big barrier on the coast. So all that coastal rain just hits here and just keeps this area wet.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Cape sort of eventually died off and turned into this savanna that sort of exists there now.
Yeah.
And all the endemic species that are in New Guinea are also here.
Yeah, right.
So there's species that live nowhere else in Australia, just here. And we have migratory species that come over from New Guinea during the wet season to sort of nest and live here. So it's just alive with wildlife. Yeah. It's got some of the highest biodiversity of anywhere in Australia.
You were saying a lot of the bird watchers,
it's a bird watching mecca for bird watchers worldwide.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of those guys standing out in the middle of the road with their cameras. So you've got to drive slow during tourist season.
And he said the word. Say it again.
Endemic. Yeah. So you've got native species that they live in Australia, but an animal can be native to Australia, but it can also be native to New Guinea. So you find kangaroos sort of in Australia, you find them in New Guinea, that sort of thing. But endemic means it's a species that only lives in that one spot. So we've got a lot of species that are endemic to just this rainforest. Yeah. So always wanting to have my own little piece of land to manage, and then freehold in Iron Range came up, which is just the ultimate for me, like a childhood dream. So I would have always regretted not having a crack and trying to do something here. And then you just saw some of the community, see how helpful they are. Without that community, there's no way we could have done what we've done so far.
Even the road coming in here is a feat in itself.
That's it. We discussed how far away all your suppliers are. So a 12-hour drive in a Land Cruiser to go to Bunnings to get a box of screws, not really, not really on the card. No. So you just got to plan everything and just drag everything up here yourself. And
And we're gonna, throughout the video, he's a wealth of knowledge, so there's gonna be a lot of facts getting spit at you, and you're gonna learn a lot.
That's it. You get me talking about something that I like bloody reptiles and snakes and birds. You'll get sick of it. Like I got my rashies and stuff in there, and they were all rolled up in there. I pulled it down when we were going on the boat one day, and the little bats going everywhere. I was like, put them back in there, and once they're flighted, once the little babies are flighted, then they move and they roost, they hang up like this.
Okay.
So I've got to move them at some point, but I need to build a nice little spot for them.
Oh yeah, that's it, yeah. That's sick.
But you'll see them, as soon as it gets dark, they're out flying around, grabbing all the bugs, and it's pretty handy actually, because they just cut all the bugs off the lights. And they'll never hit you, they'll just sort of swoop around. They can't really see, but they echolocate, so they just bounce around everywhere without swooping you. But all 20 of them are out like right on sunrise, so it's just a little mosh pit of bats just flying around everywhere. It's really cool.
I'll
have to get up and do that.
And be like, okay, I like this.
That's it.
I like this place. I like these people.
I really like having them there too, but I've got to remove all that stuff, so I've got to try and build a little hide for them that they'll stay in. So
we've got Seski here, the partner of Ryan. And she's whipping up some
espresso martinis.
Technically a coffee drink.
Yeah.
We need more.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing. It's really. What do we got?
Chicken pizza, and then we got a Mexican pizza and a potato pizza going on.
Oh my god. Oh.
So when you take one out, you then remove that resource.
Kevin,
Come here, little guy.
get here now.
Wow. That is so cool. Oh my god. I've never seen a bat this small.
So these are little eastern cave bats. We've got a little colony living on the deck here.
Yeah.
Little maternity colony. This is a little unflighted one. So we're just putting him back in to his little cavern here. They're just learning how to fly, and soon as they can fly, we can move their little roost site so that they're in a little better place than sitting here on the deck.
That is epic.
Kevin's just
How's the way they crawl away? Oh.
No, he's fine.
He's fine?
He's still learning how to fly, so
Yeah.
yeah, we won't slow his little practice flights down.
Oh. Good morning. We had a few beers last night. We've had a bit of a late start today. It was nice to have a bit of a celebration with the crew and unwind from the last few weeks. Sleeping in bed was absolutely amazing. And the birds out here have just been going off all morning. They've just started to quiet down a little bit now. We're going to go for a look around the property this morning, show us the bird walking trails that you can go on, and I'm going to use some of the footage that he already has because of the limited time we have here. I won't be able to capture all the birds and wildlife that are around here, but there's also a swimming hole, and it's an amazing property and rainforest. And then tomorrow we're going to go barra fishing with one of the local fellas. We've got permission to go on to this part of the land where that we've just got permission to go on there with him. So we're going to go barra fishing tomorrow, which is super exciting. And we've just been taking it easy, to be honest. The whole body is, I feel like once you hit land and let your body unwind for a second, you start sort of crashing a bit. So nice to have a bit of a lay-in. But yeah, we'll go for a look around the property in a minute. Absolutely loving having a few days on land. Oh. Going for a bit of a look around the property.
Go for a little fish.
Little pig trap.
Control the feral pests.
They're a nightmare.
Yeah, everywhere. Especially like along the banks of the creek. Run it all up. Take you up the top of the ridge first, and then we'll go down the creek. Cover.
Beautiful.
This is a big orange-footed scrub-fowl nest, kind of like a bush turkey that's sort of native to Southeast Asia and New Guinea, and then up here in northern Queensland.
Yeah.
They make this huge, big nest, and it becomes communal. But heaps of other animals use it as well. So goannas and stuff will lay their eggs in it, and I think green pythons might as well. No one's ever found a green python nest up here.
Okay.
And I mean, the rainforest's so dense, they could be up in hollows, could be up in sort of little epiphytes and trees, but good chance, like carpet pythons and other pythons, they might lay their eggs in here. They're real temperature controlled.
Yeah.
So when the scrub fowl and bush turkeys use these kind of nests, they got a really temperature sensitive head. So as soon as they find the perfect temperature for incubating their eggs, that's when they just deposit them in that little chamber.
Wow.
And yeah, pretty cool. In 2018, Cyclone Trevor came through and took out some of the big trees on the top of the rainforest. And all these acacias, they sort of dominate when the rainforest is sort of knocked down. The rainforest takes a little bit longer to sort of regenerate. And then these acacias all come through and sort of choke the rainforest out a bit.
Yeah, okay.
So, especially after a fire, there was a couple of fires across the top here, and it promotes the growth of all these like spindly little acacias. So yeah, we want to sort of clear a lot of that little acacia there and then build a little bird watching platform here, a little camp. Because over this way you get
Really nice view of the Iron Range.
Yeah.
In the distance, that's Mount Tozer, the highest point in the area, straight down that way.
Oh yeah.
Which is that's what we use when we're coming back in from the reef. You always sort of aim at Mount Tozer. I'm not sure. Yeah. Gets you here pretty close.
Sick. This would be awesome to have a bird watching thing.
Yeah. Because that's out of the rainforest too. It's like a little ecotone outside the rainforest, like a little woodland. So you get a heap of different species that love the edge of the rainforest and live up here. We got little striped possums and even the cuscus, they like these sort of fringes like this. So yeah, that's why we're setting up different trails through different habitats. So
for sure,
people get a good look at everything.
Yeah, definitely.
We were spewing, we thought once we got up to here we'd get an ocean view, but unfortunately that ridge there is about 20 metres higher than this one. So that's in the national park. That's Kutini Piamu National Park over there. Kutini means cassowary, Piamu's rainbow serpent.
Oh wow.
In the Kukiao language. So yeah, we share a boundary with the national park, and there's no access at all to the national park down this end until you get back up sort of through the main road, which we'll go through later.
Sick. It's definitely extremely untouched. This little bit of property you got.
Yeah, and just this area, it's extremely understudied as well.
Yeah. Especially
in terms of wildlife and botany surveys. So we want to try and promote a fair bit of that here as well.
Yeah. Go turd. Looks pretty fresh.
Yeah, probably last night. They love using all our tracks, all the trail cams. You just see the dingoes running through all the time. Works for them.
So he's got trail cams set up everywhere. We'll try and get some footage off him. He'll be able to show you.
Yeah.
What comes on the nests and across the tracks.
Yeah, it's just good to know what's around, and if we see anything that's not often seen, helps build some interest from unis and other funding providers to help us run wildlife surveys and do a bit of conservation and engagement with the Aboriginal groups as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the creek a bit of a common thing you go down to, or?
Oh yeah, at times. I mean, when we're not busy. I like to walk the track a lot at night and in the morning just to see what's down here.
The kingfisher bird?
Yeah, these are the buff-breasted paradise kingfisher. So they're a migratory species that comes over from New Guinea just before the wet season. They come set up in the rainforest here, and they only nest in these termite mounds on the ground, rather than the ones in the trees. And they bore out a little hole there, make a little nesting chamber, and again, it's temperature controlled. The termites keep them at about 28 degrees.
Yeah, right.
So they'll lay maybe 2, even 3 clutches a year in these, and they come back to the same one every year. They're not there now, but I have a trail cam here. So.
Is that so which one's the nest?
Oh, so this is actually pretty cool. This was where the hole is, but the termite mound is still live. So now that the birds have left, the termites have repaired the hole.
Oh,
so
wow.
That'll grow back out. But next year they'll come back and they'll use that same hole and create the same nest chamber in there. So we'll show you on the trail cams what it looks like. They keep coming in, feeding the babies, and babies leaving the nest.
That'd be awesome.
We named our property Turtle Creek.
This is the creek?
Full of turtles, yeah. And it's a rarity up here to have a croc-free swimming hole. So it's very shallow and very narrow in certain parts, with lots of debris over the top of it. So big crocodiles sort of can't get up the creek from the Claudie River that's that way. So yeah, we're pretty confident we can swim in this creek.
There'd have to be jungle perch in here, eh?
Yeah, there's jungle perch, sooty grunters.
Yep.
And lots of other freshwater fish I can't identify.
Yep.
You sit here for a second, they should start to come up. You actually might be able to get still here. He'll come over.
There's the colours on it. What's that called?
A coal grunter.
They get big, or?
Yeah, they get a bit bigger than that, and they get really black. With those spots can be really orange sometimes as well. They're a really pretty fish.
That's a stunning fish.
There's a heap of rainbows in here too that are I couldn't tell you their species name, but there's a heap of different endemic rainbows up here.
Endemic?
Yep.
Is this where you go swimming?
Yeah.
I'll go for a swim.
Cool.
always do. But are there in particular?
It's just to sort of break up our shadow, so it doesn't have to be fully covered. If you can get them up. See that log that in the tree there?
Yep.
Deering returns on that. But yeah, since I've seen this bird, who knows what's happened to him? It could have been eaten by a python or something.
Right.
Hopefully he comes back, or hopefully another bird would take over the perch. There's not many perfect horizontal display perches like that around, I guess.
And you're using his own call on him?
Yeah, I recorded his call when he was down here, so it just plays best off the phone. It's nice and loud, and hopefully some of the other females know it already, so might help bring them in. But
It's unlikely that we're gonna see the fella today, but that's him there.
yeah, just outside the display and breeding season, so probably a bit less common this time of year for him to be up there calling out, but you never know. There has been a few calling this morning.
In the time that we're going to be here, it's not going to be enough to really go and explore all the wildlife that's in the area. But if you do come out here, these are some of the animals that if you put the effort in, you'll be able to find. Some of these creatures are only found in this part of Australia, and Ryan and Seski as a team make such a good host for doing something adventurous and seeing some parts of Australia that you won't see anywhere else. Ryan, with his background working with the Irwin family, being a zoologist and filming wildlife and animals his entire life, is a wealth of knowledge, and the entire time I was with him I learnt so many things about animals I knew nothing about and that even existed in Australia. If this sounds something that you're interested in, check out Turtle Creek Eco Lodge in Cape York and go on a trip of a lifetime. So we just got a little pre-dinner. Look, this is better than any dinner I can cook. It's incredible. It's literally incredible. I don't know how, I can't cook chicken like that.
It's largely due to the it's on the barbecue, I'd say.
It's so good.
Hello. Booze again.
Booze again. And it hasn't been just cooking this trip. It's been cocktails. Today we had a dragon fruit.
Oh, what was it? I just made it up.
It was some sort of dragon fruit daiquiri.
Yeah.
If you ever go to a restaurant, you're watching this, do it. It should be in more restaurants.
No.
So you've seen the appetizer before, chicken skewer wraps, and now we got steak.
So, what's everyone's favourite animal?
Barramundi maybe.
Kevin's
Cow.
Large milk
Yeah, cow.
Can of Coke for brekkie and some bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're going to cruise down to the beach and check it out down there. Along the way, there's a plant in Australia, actually in the world, most poisonous plant in the world. Hopefully we see one along the way, and then later tonight we're going to be looking for green pythons, which are endemic to this area, which mean they only are found here. But yeah, heading down to the beach, and hopefully we see the plants along the way. Most poisonous plant in the world, is that right?
Yeah, yep, most venomous plant in the world.
Okay,
yeah,
I said it wrong.
The suicide plant.
Yeah.
Similar though, venomous, poisonous.
Yeah.
Same.
Same. Little difference, you explained it the other day.
Yeah. So poison, if you ingest poison, that's when it does the damage, whereas venom is injected. So that's a difference. Essentially you could eat venom and not have any damage. I wouldn't recommend it though.
So technically you could drink snake poison.
Yeah, if you had no cuts or anything on your insides. Yeah. Essentially you could drink a venom without it affecting you, but most of us probably do have some kind of imperfection in our gut. So don't do it. If anyone's watching, don't drink it. But that's the theory.
And we're heading down to, what was the name of the beach?
I'll go down to Chili Beach.
Chili Beach.
Yeah, Chili Beach and Cape Weymouth.
Yeah.
Have a look, see what's going on down there. It's probably going to be pretty windy, but it's worth having a look anyway.
Sure. Cool. Happy days.
Let's go. Yeah. Looks similar. You'll see how similar it looks. That's why when you touch one once, you feel all gimpy looking trees. So just be careful when you come in here. So yeah, big heart-shaped leaf, those serrated edges, and yeah, that's the fruit. You might be able to get a bit of a zoom in underneath. You can see the trichomes. They're like little fangs. Ooh, ooh. Don't trust this grass. But yeah, you might be able to get in close. Yeah, tiny little, almost like little venomous fangs that just stick in your skin.
Either side's bad, but?
Yeah, either side's bad. They're on both sides, but the bottom is by far the worst.
And you were saying, so there's a guy on YouTube, what's his name? Coyote?
Yeah, Coyote Peterson, yeah.
Coyote Peterson. You might have seen him before, and he gets spit and stung, and obviously he come and done this plant. And how was his reaction?
He didn't love it. He didn't sleep at all that night. But yeah, he did it here just on the other side of the road. So if you want to look up that, you can see exactly what happens, what it does to your skin, how your skin bubbles up. And these little trichomes, they stay in your skin. They leave like an opening to your nerve root. So any wind, any water that touches your skin, straight to the nerve root, and it always aggravates. So until you get all those little trichomes out, yeah, it stays with you.
And you mentioned how you get them out. How was that again?
Wax strips are the best. Yeah. Like that, the old stick-on wax strips. Failing that, maybe duct tape or anything sticky. But the key is to not touch it. You got to get that wax strip onto it as soon as you can, because otherwise you break all the ends off, so you can't really get it out of your skin. Yeah, it just gets too deep, I suppose, until your body works it out, and then that can take about 3 months if you break the ends off. So it sucks, yeah.
So there you go. If you ever see one of these plants in the bush, where can you only really see it here though?
No, they're all through North Queensland.
Yeah.
And there's another one down the temperate rainforest down sort of southeast Queensland called the northern stinging tree, which is really similar. It hurts as well, but yeah, this is quite significantly worse, and I know that from experience. Yeah,
wicked. Sick.
Here we go. This is it. Hang on, I'll just turn the light so it doesn't blow you out. That's him. That's the green python. Wow. He's in full ambush mode. So he's on a scent trail, probably tracking melomys, which is a little native mouse that we have up here. And they just hang like this, and he's just waiting. He's just waiting for that melomys to run past. He could be here days. He won't move until he gets it. At night, he'll come down here and just wait on that scent trail until one runs past. And then during the day, he'll get out of the sun, probably just hit up this canopy. And if he hasn't got one tonight, he'll come back straight to this spot and he'll sit on it until that scent trail goes cold before he moves on. But yeah, sometimes I'll sit here for a week just waiting for that 1 millimetre to run past. These guys are endemic. The only place green pythons live in Australia is this tiny little bit of rainforest, like Mucklerathe and Iron Range. That's sort of a remnant of Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea broke away from Australia 250,000 years ago, and it just left behind a heap of species that live here and in New Guinea. But because they've been separated for 250,000 years, the species that went over to New Guinea, even though they look the same, they're genetically different because they've spent so much time sort of evolving to the landscape they live in.
It looks so much like a green tree frog.
Yeah, they're fluoro.
And the white dot?
Yeah, those white dots are like their fingerprint. That's how you can tell them apart.
That's the way it's looped around that tree too.
Yeah. They've got a little prehensile tail, that's their little anchor. And they just hang down there off the ground, just waiting to grab anything that comes past. How good are they?
They're insane.
Yeah, there's a couple like that. Foxhole. There's quite a few.
Yeah, right. What? It has a bat.
Yeah. There was 2,000 American troops here. This was the Gardner runway. Yeah. And yeah, this is a livable bunker, so you had the chimney so you could sort of cook in here and that sort of thing. There's 8 bunkers just sort of in this little area. But there's two runways, like hidden in the rainforest, facing different directions for every wind. And this was Australia's sort of most northern outpost to fend off like the Japanese as they were sort of coming down this way. So there's some of the hills that got big anti-aircraft guns on the top of the ridges. And yeah, this is one that would have supported the airport that's just behind us. But shows how good concrete is, hey? This is built in the 40s and it's solid as. I'd build everything out of concrete if I could afford it.
Yeah. Wow.
Cleaning the boat up, fresh blankets, more food, and we've got to fix this fuel issue, but we know how to fix it. So we'll be doing that for a couple of hours. Thank you. When we were stuck out there, we didn't have the tools to cut a hole in the aluminium. I'm just cutting a hole in the aluminium so we can get right to where the tank hose connects to it, and I'm pretty sure it's blocked right there. Bucket had a bit of shit already, so we're not going to be able to tell with the stuff that was in there, but anything that was in there is getting sucked out. So all in all, issue was line was definitely blocked. We've gotten rid of whatever was in there, but it wasn't blocked enough to completely stop the fuel, but it was making the motor misfire. I think when we broke down, when we put the bucket in there, we put some fuel in there just before to see if there was, just to clean out whatever was in there, and I think the amount of fuel we put in there was the amount that come back out. So I think we were out of fuel as well. Lesson learnt. But we still made it here on the fuel we had.
Because the little motor we think is using more than what we calculated.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
How you going? You winning?
We're winning.
Cheers, brother. Good on you, mate.
Hey. That's such a good time.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hopefully we see you on your return trip.
You will.
I don't want her to fall, she won't.
No,
And thanks heaps for everything.
Yeah, no worries for coming. Good on you. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Yeah.
Hope it's fun. See you later, pretty.
Thank you for your hospitality and
Anytime.
everything.
Good on you.
Seriously.
No worries.
We're friends now, and
Yeah,
you know, I'm
absolutely.
sure we're going to
Yeah,
catch up a lot of places.
Yeah.
If you see us over at the Arnhem Land and you want to come for a cruise over, just give us a buzz, mate. Fly in.
I heard the army guys
We'll
were
go
good.
So Ryan is flying down to Cairns to get some supplies for the next guests that are coming, and really goes to show you this area that they're in here, how remote it is. Like if they're getting any supplies or anything, doing a run to Cairns, which is I think 12 hours away or longer, 12 hours on a good trip, and shows how hard it is to get anything done here. And what they've done up on that eco lodge is an extreme feat. So
Yeah, so when you're coming here, you're really getting away from it all, aren't you?
yeah, but we've resolved the issue, and
Have we?
I'm pretty positive now. Honestly, we've done everything you can possibly do. Anything that was in the tank is now out. I do think we still ran out of fuel, which we were in the back of our mind. We were thinking, and we weren't sure. The little motor was using heaps more fuel than we thought.
Hey, and when we were driving here, who was saying, "You really want to go there? You really want to go there?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll fish here, we'll fish there."
I'm hopeless for getting sidetracked. So we did run out of fuel, but we still made it here on the fuel we had. So I guess we didn't fully run out. But yeah, this will be the end of this episode and series with the crew, and hope you enjoyed it. And if you're ever going to do a trip up the far north here, check them out. Something you can bring your family and kids to. Wildlife everywhere, sick eco lodge. Like it's like a bucket list thing. So definitely check them out. And thanks heaps for helping us, guys, as well. We wouldn't have been able, we were bloody that keen to get off the boat when we got here, so it was good.
It's one of the best times I've had.
We're nearly finished here.
You pass us the drill, Jacko?
Yeah. I mentioned earlier in the video we went barramundi fishing, and we went with Tremaine, one of the local boys, and his mates, and it was one of the most crazy experiences of mine and Dad's life. So I'm going to do this video separate. Get ready for next weekend for one of the best episodes yet.